Hello, good evening, namaskar, assalamu alaikum, bonjour, hola, nin hao, salve, guten tag, hola, salamat siang, merhaba, and heads to all my lovely audience today. I'm your host for the evening, Miss Shelley Best, an educator, speaker, writer, and social worker. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with international global professionals as a global member and feel honored and privileged to host this seminar. It's my delight to welcome you all today. It's such a beautiful occasion of global, professional, international, and that too a free webinar. Thank you all for joining us today in this marvelous evening. And it is my humble request and pleasure for all of you to stay with us till the end, for I'm sure you all will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. I quote that wisdom comes not from age, but from education and learning. And there is no age for learning because life never stops teaching. Anything you learn today, you will get better result tomorrow. So never stop learning anything. An institution of global professionals is the best platform to empower your quench for knowledge and wisdom. August gathering. In each webinar, we have some new participants joining us. Therefore, let me give them a little briefing about IGP for their better understanding. Well, Institute of Global Professionals serves student and community resource providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So, we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. Institute of Global Professional is an educational institution which provides social work which is globally recognized. We organize our webinar, training, offline and online courses, etc., by best and trained speakers, coaches from all over the world to create the best learning platform for you all. Our mission is to empower people and enhance skill. I feel elated to announce that we have already completed 110 international webinars successfully. I expect that you all will be enlightened by our luminaries today and the wisdom which you will gain today and will sure help in your personal and professional growth. I hope the deliberations from our three distinguished speakers will help you to hone your soft skills, and I extend my best wishes for great success of the participants and wish that you all will remain with us for a long, fruitful association and journey. I extend my deepest gratitude in welcoming you all in today's session, which is our 111th webinar on teaching model with multi approach, which is indeed an interesting topic. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, you all will be benefited by all our three speakers today. So, our eminent honorable three speakers are dignified Muhammad Zubair, gracious Sajna Zulfikar Beldahin, and stunning Miss Vedrana Sarek. So without any further ado, let's start this magnificent event with IGP's mantra. Feed your skills with innovation, inspire, and impact. Hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, to meet our first speaker, sagacious Muhammad Zubair from India, the country of festivals. You all will be delighted to know that he is an assistant professor of special education in the Department of TT and FE, Jamia Millia Islamia, Central University, New Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a brief about our important guest for today. Mr. Muhammad Zubair is an assistant professor of special education in the Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, a Central University, New Delhi, India. He is a registered professional in RCI, that is Rehabilitation Council of India, a versatile, dedicated and professionally competent special educator with a master's in special education and certified practitioner from Rehabilitation Council of India. He has vast experience in identification of students with special needs, assessment and involving appropriate remedial measures. He is a professional who is flexible and accommodating in the design and implementation of inspiring hands-on lessons, employing wide range manipulatives and IEPs to enhance student achievement. He is skilled in addressing student needs, ensuring children will thrive and develop in an adaptable educational atmosphere. He uses firm behavioral management techniques, possessing excellent interpersonal and communication skills to develop an excellent rapport with all members of the school community. His areas of proficiency includes multidisciplinary educational plans, technology integration, team teaching approach, curriculum development, individualized educational plan. He is having 7 years of experience in the field of education in different positions by serving various organizations from school to university. He is NET JRF in education. He has done many master degrees in various disciplines. He has been selected in many government jobs. He has worked in many government organizations. He has been participated in more than 100 seminars, workshops, in-service trainings, and webinars during his job period in different organizations. He has won many prizes in sports and co-curricular activities. What an impressive profile, sir. Lovely. So, lovely audience, let's greet our dignified speaker and give a warm welcome to Mohammed Zubair. Hello, sir. I extend a hearty welcome to you, and now the
Hello, ma'am.
screen is all yours.
Hello, ma'am. Thanks for this warm greetings, and you describe me in this way, in this fashion. And first
Welcome.
of all, I would like to thanks the organizers. They have given me the opportunity, and thanks to you as well. You describe me in this fashion. So
It's my honor.
yeah. So today, my topic is I will introduce the topic about multisensory approach. Basically, ma'am told me about everything about me. I am working in university as a professor, and this is the platform where we can interact with different kind of people because India is a very diverse country. You can understand, ma'am. You belongs from India, so different inclusive education. I will talk about some inclusive education points and multisensory approach. How can we use multisensory approaches in the classroom to make or to enhance the skills of our teachers to make effective teaching learning process, because we have our desired goals and you can say objectives, and we want to achieve those goals for our students. So I hope now is the time to start. If you permit me, then I will start.
Yes, sir, you please.
Yeah. Firstly, I am sharing my screen. Uh, is it visible to you?
Yeah, it's very much visible.
Yeah. Firstly, I will like to thank again Institute of Global Professionals because it's a good platform and many people can and I will say namaskar, assalamu alaikum, and hi to all my friends from different parts of the world. And today I will present some good topics. For example, inclusion and multisensory approach, and how can we make our teaching learning process effective. So when we talk about education, so education is the key essence for society. You know, education is very much essential nowadays. It may be formal or informal. If we are educated, we are sensible, we can take our good decisions. So nowadays, teaching is the two-way process. The participation of students are much needed. We have to engage them, and teacher is a facilitator. He is a manager. He is a guider. So he has to manage all the things in the classroom during the teaching learning process. So if I would like to say that what is the role of teacher in the society? So teacher is the main facilitator, because they they are molding their students, because every student is unique in the classroom. They have their own skills, and we have to develop them, because they are our human resources. And every country, you know, every country's future is depends upon the children. So as a teacher, we should be a good, I for example, if I'm a teacher, I should be a good observer. If I am a good observer, I can observe, I can assess before the teaching, during the teaching, after the teaching. I have to observe the needs, the interests, the aptitude, the skills of the my students. Uh, what is the current position of the student? What are the need, because he needs, he I have to make intervention plans for him, need based education. So I will make long term goal and the short term goal, which will I try to achieve. And I want to achieve those goals. And I want my students will be able to learn different things. So teacher is dynamic force of the education system. So for example, if a body without soul, a skeleton without flesh or a blood, so a shadow without substance. Similarly, so teacher is a role model. So nowadays we are facing a big problem in the pandemic. But Corona pandemic, in that ICT and technology has provided us a big platform, and today we are able to talk about on different issues on on many topics. So here it's time for teachers to embrace new role in the classroom as a mentor, because due to the technology we are able and capable to teach our students, and we are able to run our courses in the schools or in the universities. So firstly I will talk about little bit about the students. For example, when we talk about the students, every kid is different, he is unique. Some students are good in music, some students are good in sports, some are good in academic areas. So we have to develop their abilities in all domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So if we want to develop holistic approach, if we have a holistic approach, we want to be, you know, develop them in this manner, they will be able to be a good citizen of a country, and he is able to become a good citizen of the country and will take part in the development of the country. So we need some special trained professionals, teachers. They will treat them, they will observe them, they will make their lesson plans or IPs or the intervention plans according to their needs, and they will develop up to their maximum potentials, because every individual is different individual. So we can't say that every student will be a doctor, every student will be a musician. So it all depends upon the skills. When we talk about the intelligence, like Gardner said, there are 8 or 9 types of intelligence. When we talk about the concrete intelligence, or the when we talk about the social intelligence, or the mechanical, or the abstract intelligence, so we have to observe firstly. Firstly, I would like to little bit. I will tell about little bit about inclusive education, because I'm from India, and India is in the subcontinent. It's a very diverse country. Different type of people live here, different culture, different religion. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh is the subcontinent area. So inclusive education means education. Children with diverse needs can succeed in our classroom, because every children is important for teacher. All students are equal participants in the classroom. So when we teach them in a regular classroom with children with special needs, with marginalized groups, like in India, for example, many tribes and many marginalized groups are there. Girls and boys, they will learn together in a classroom. So it is all about children learning together. Even they have different abilities. So as a teacher, it's my duty to observe the pace, the current potential of the student, and what is needed in the future. It will benefit it will give the benefit to all the students. So an inclusive school setup provides all the facilities. Benefits are, for when we talk about inclusive education, it's a too much there are lots of benefits are there. We have to make infrastructure for them. For example, if a school is inclusive, special needs children are also there, so we have to make ramps, elevators, adaptive toilets, we have to multidisciplinary approach in the human resource. For example, government has to recruit, and recruitment process will be done by government on the basis of multidisciplinary approach. For example, um, general teacher or the special educator or the guidance and counselor or the music teacher or the physiotherapist or the occupational therapist, all teachers will be there in a school, and they will treat speech therapist also there. So this environment will create a good, effective, in you can say it will create such environment where students will be able to learn at very high pace. They can improve the quality, because if you see, if there are lots of students in the class, they are introvert in nature, but they have the abilities, they are not able, they are very shy, they are fear, they are panic, but they are not able to tell their talent in front of others. But if a counselor is there in the school, if a yoga teacher is there in the school, if a psychologist or a speech therapist is there in the school, they will talk to him. Psychologist is there in the school and teach special educator. He will make the intervention plan according to the needs of the student. So this will provide them the equal opportunities. So inclusion is very important nowadays, but everything has some cons as well. For example, in India, like in the subcontinent, the problem is that we don't have trained teachers. We don't have such infrastructure where all these facilities are there. For example, I am living here in New Delhi. There are lots of schools. They are converting nowadays into the inclusive setup. But when we talk about in the whole country, so it will take some time to be inclusive. And some students are mild and moderate and severe and profound. So if students are mild and moderate, we can teach them in the inclusive setup. It is very easy for a teacher to manage all these things. But if a student is severe or profound, for example, if a person is disabled and he has severe disabilities, in the learning disability, in the autism, in the visual impairment, in the hearing impairment. So we have to segregate them. We have to provide them a different setup. We have to make different intervention plans for them. So infrastructure barrier is there. Buildings, rooms, labs, laboratories, computers, ICT, trainers, special educators, and the multisensory approach is lack in the classroom. Multidisciplinary approach is lack in the school. And execution and implementation of the policies. Government has taken good steps and they have initiated many good policies and they have launched many programs. But when we talk about the implementation and execution, this is much needed in our country. So what is multisensory approach is all about? We have, everybody knows about senses, and everybody knows about, if you are belong from education, you know about, if we hear, we see, we touch, and so there are many senses we have. So effective use of various senses in the classroom, when we use our senses in the classroom as a teacher, so that is, and the multidisciplinary approach, the multisensory approach, use various senses at the same time. Because when I see something, for example, so sensation is going on and processing is going on in my brain, and the perception will take place, and I interpret and understand the meaning what I am seeing. If I'm able to do these things, so if I'm a good teacher, I will use multisensory approach in the class. That will increase the participation of the students. I will engage them in different activities and they will learn a lot, because multisensory approach, multi means more than one and sensory means involves or deliver from the senses. In other term, we can say WACT. This is the another approach, and WACT is the full form of visualization, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile. You know, we can learn by different approaches. Some students are learn at a very high pace by visualization, some are by auditory methods, some by performances or the activities or the CCA or the co-curricular activities we organize in the class. For example, role play, we can give the roles to the students, and tactile through touch and through feel. Firstly, I will talk about the auditory learners. You know, as a teacher, it's my duty to observe, to assess the student's needs and his level, his weakness, his strengths. Then I will make lesson plan or IEP for him. Functional assessment is required in all areas, in the cognitive areas, in the affective areas, in the psychomotor areas. Cognitive related to the knowledge, information, application, and the affective means the emotional balance, what he feels, socially how he connect with others, and psychomotor means the motor actions. For example, they are learning by doing. Many activities we can perform, like co-curricular activities we can do in the classroom, we can engage them. So auditory learners, some students are very auditory learner. They learn reading by listening to someone present information orally or by being allowed to discuss and ask questions. Some students are very fast. They learn at very high pace. For example, if we record some lectures and repeatedly they listen, it will help them. We can use rhymes in the class to help memorize the things. For example, read aloud during the reading, teacher or maybe student. Discuss the material. Listen carefully. If we are a good listener, then we will be a good speaker in the future. Sound out words. Say words in syllables. Break the words. They will be able to listen carefully. Their focus, they will be able to make focus. Paraphrase directions. Talk about illustration and diagrams. With new processes, talk about what to do. So these are all the things we can use. As a teacher, I always try to record my lecture and my voice and send to my students. So this always will help them if they are auditory learners. I am not auditory learner. If I am talking about myself, I learn at the very high pace when I see the things, or I learning by doing. So how can engage students in the class? So your lecture should be interactive. Firstly, because every student is unique and every student is important for me in my class. I have I have I have made plan for every student, and I want to achieve those desired goals in my classroom. So utilize sound during lectures. You can use beats, rhymes, songs, and you can motivate them. You can reinforce them, because if their self-esteem will become higher and higher, they will be able to perform well. So as a teacher, you have to develop their skills, enhance their skills, ask questions, provide them opportunity. Your lecture should not be one-sided. It's a two-way process. The discussion will take place in the class. Allow engage class in the small groups. For example, peer tutoring or the team teaching. You can. Some students are good in. Some students are high achievers. Some are medium. Some are low achievers. You can make groups according to the need, and they will engage and they will do work in groups. And grouping will help them provide verbal summary at the end of the class, and provide the opportunity to reflect, to share their views in front of others. If you give them opportunity to say, it will definitely work. When we talk about the visual learners, so another thing, visual learners. Some students are they learn at very high pace when they see the things. So visual learner, seeing words in printed form, or using graphics, illustrations, or pictures, or videos, or you can say nowadays PPTs on the ICT, many things we can use nowadays. There are lots of applications are available in Play Store. And so visual learners, if a student is visual learner, use mind pictures, mind maps, take notes. You can give them PPTs, illustrations. You can record the video lecture and provide them. You can see parts of words, and you can provide them charts, the models, working models, flashcards, photographs, illustrations, charts, diagrams, everything. And you can highlight the main points there where they are weak. So these are the things you can use in the class. You can engage them in this manner. So write out directions, use visuals when teaching lessons such as pictures, charts. For example, if I teach my students, I can, for example, record my video, interactive video. I'm talking with my students, and this is a full lecture, and I can give them. And when they go to home, they will see again and again. So you can also do many things in the class. Physically, you can demonstrate many things in the classroom. So give students to the opportunity in the class. Use visual cues. For example, the other things we can use in the class is that your presentation. If you are a good teacher, you should be a good speaker, and you should be a good presenter. You have to observe which student need which kind of support or intervention, or which kind of method or technique or strategy I can use in my class according to the need. When we talk about the kinesthetic learners, some students, it's very important thing. Co-curricular activities, learning by doing, it's very good formula. Kinesthetic means due to motion. When we learn due to motion and locomotion in the classroom. So kinesthetic learners learn best through movement. For example, fine motor and gross motor ability activities. For example, if a student is not able to gripping the pen, he has fine motor problem. So you can use many things in the class. For example, if you don't have an assembling and deassembling of toys, puzzles, he can open and close the cap of pen or the bottle. And the gross motor abilities also. For example, he is able to move. You can you can perform many activities in the class, learning by doing. Role playing you can perform, or you can engage them in many activities, dance, or many other activities you can perform in the class. Some students, when they learn new thing, they walk when they study. I think this gives them some sort of, you can say, calmness. They learn at very high pace. The more participation, the more learning will be take place. Important thing in the classroom. Move and lecture the walls. So you can use these activities in the class, dance, or the fine motor activities, or the gross motor activities, catching, for example, catching practice in the class. For example, they can play many sports for eye-hand coordination, for body movements. So they will able to learn. For example, if you are teaching a topic like solar system, you can perform a role playing drama in the class. A child will play a role of sun, the other children will play the planets role, and they will revolve around the sun. So this will give the conceptual knowledge in practical manner to them. Hands-on training, you can say. So they will able to learn these things for long term. You can use different flashcards and many games and activities. You can, if you are a creative teacher, you can make many activities. For example, election system. You can organize activity in the class. How, for example, in India is a democratic country, how we are conducting elections in our country. You can make an activity in the classroom. You can, there are many candidates in the class, and you can put a box in the class, and other students will participate. So you, if you are a creative teacher and you want to engage them, you can do many things for them. Give breaks during the teaching little, because it will give them some relaxation, because activity based learning is always very good, you know. You can give you can provide them models, clay blocks. They can play with them in the classroom. They can assemble, deassemble with them. They can mold them. They can create many things, many structures by clay. Use outdoor games as well. So this and dance and activities, folk songs, co-curricular activities, for example, debate. If your students are not able, they are introvert in nature, they are not able to express their views, introvert in nature, you have to eradicate the fear, the hesitation in them. Because, for example, I am teaching in the university level, and I am teaching to B.Ed and M.Ed students that they will be teacher in future. So they have to handle all the students. So am I'm providing training to them, so they will be a good practical teacher in their lives. So they should be extrovert in nature, they should know how to deal in different situation in the class. Tactile learners, others are tactile learners. You can touch the things, for example, embossed. For example, if BI students are there, low vision students are there, if students some students are there in the class, because class is diverse in nature, you can use all these things as well in the class. Tactile learners learn through by touching, by using their hands and fingers. They learn best writing. You can use centre. They can uh, write by their finger or anything in the centre, in the sandbox. So tactile, you can emboss many things. You can prepare chart or any flashcard, and you can put a thread on all the corners. You can emboss all the area. So this will help them. So learn best when physically engaged, hands-on training. It will help them, because they will feel, they will touch. So laboratories are there in the school, in the colleges. Labs are there, computer labs are there, puzzles and games are there. They can touch, they can feel, they can observe, and they can make. For example, when I was working in a school, and I was using many puzzles. Students are making many structures with that box. There are lots of puzzle boxes are available. They can make many structures. Sometimes they can make tractor. Sometimes they can make. They are able to make some other thing, a car. So it will encourage them. You know, hands-on training is always beneficial. Field work is always, you know, work well, because they are enjoying with their partners, with their classmates, with their colleagues, with their with other students, and they have, you know, they have developed their confidence. Their self-esteem is high now. Rate of learning has been increased. Finger spelling, or the, you know, you can use many things in the class, many things as a teacher. Things better when give freedom to move around. But the important thing is that to make our teaching more effective in the class, early identification. For example, if I'm a teacher, so I have to talk to their parents, talk to their teachers, and we have to assess their previous academic records, their case study, he achieve his milestones. The other thing is acceptability. Mostly parents are not accepted. They are saying that my son will be a doctor in future. So this is not the good thing. We have to select their profession according to their abilities. For example, if he has abilities of singing, he should be a musician in the future. So acceptability is the important thing. We have to accept what skills our child have. As a teacher, every student have aptitude in one or more areas. Some students are good in sports, some are good in running, some are good in cricket, some are good in hockey, some are good in music, some are good in science, some are good in language. They are good speaker. They have some have good multiple intelligence, some have abstract intelligence. The other thing is the awareness in the society, sensitize the people. We have to sensitize the people. What is the role of parents? What is the role of teacher in the education system? Government made policies, they provided a platform to us, but as a teacher, it's our duty to aware them. What are the legal laws are available and how can we use them? And access is the important thing in the scenario. Especially school infrastructure should be good in the schools. Teachers should be there, trained teachers should be there, psychologists, special educators should be there, music teachers should be there, psychologists should be there, therapists should be there, and a good environment should be there. And adaptive technology we can use according to the need of the child, because special needs children are also there. So we have to consider them also, because they are the part. Girls are also studying there. So we have to be careful and we have to make barrier-free environment. Make them independent, provide equal opportunities to all, provide need-based education. You have to accommodate and modify your long-term goals, curriculum goals, because curriculum is always pre-planned. But you have to be flexible in curriculum designing, or when you have, for example, as a teacher, if I make like a long-term goal or short-term goals, so I always try to be flexible. Every student is different. They will not learn at the same pace. We have to use different methods, strategies in the class. And curriculum adaptation is very important thing. And behavior modification is also, because students follows you. You are, the role model for them. So these are the things we can use. Curriculum designing is important and adaptation should be there. Multisensory approach we talked about. We should use all the modalities in the class during the teaching learning process. We can enhance the skills of our students and the rate of learning we can increase. Imitation methods, repetition drills, rehearsals, hands-on training we can use in the schools. Multidisciplinary approach means every teacher should be there from every discipline. Use concrete objects, relate to their lives. If I am living here in Delhi, if I am giving the examples to my students of cities, so I will give the example of my country first, not the other country. So relate to their lives, where they are living. Learning by doing, provide them opportunity. Make barrier-free environment. Use games, activities, daily life examples. Use worksheets, hands-on training, different methods like peer tutoring. Make groups. In group, you have to be very careful when you make group. Some students should be high achievers, some should be low achievers. It's a balanced group. Team teaching will also work. A teacher, there are lots of teachers in the school or in the university. They can distribute their work. Cooperative learning. So leadership qualities, social skills will develop among them. Overall holistic approach, will work there in the university or the school level. Innovative aids, ICT, we can use, because nowadays in the pandemic we are using. Still, I am presenting my presentation here by using ICT. So as a teacher, it's mandatory to learn ICT. Child-centered methods, therapies we can use in the schools. Counseling, many issues are there: safety issues, girls issues, or you can say the mental illness issues, writing issues, speech issues. There are lots of issues in the school. So there are many therapists are there. Intervention plan, case study should be there. Firstly, we have to make case study, functional assessment. Then I will make lesson plan, individualized education plan according to the need. Safety concerns also important. We have to motivate them, teach them according to the individual needs. Interactive, give extra time. If a student is not able to work, give extra time, break assignments, sitting arrangement, classroom management, increase participation. I will give you some examples you can use in the class, for example, because every learner is different. If a student is not learning by reading book or reading content, so you can make recording. Learn content from audiobooks. Even you can record your lecture in the class. Use, if he is not able to learn from verbal material, you can use other activities in the class. This is the accommodation. Accommodation means we are changing our methods. We are, if a student is not able to see, he has low vision, he is low vision. So firstly, he should be seated in the first row, or we have to provide as a teacher large print text to him. This is accommodation. Use a different method technique for him. Record a lesson in video form as well. If a student is a slow learner, give extra time to him. Use an alarm. Mark text with highlighter. You can use many things in the class. You can use spelling dictionary, digital spell checker. You can use a calculator in the class. You can change in the sitting arrangements in the class. You can give frequent breaks. You can give extra time to complete the worksheet or the assignment. So these are the examples of accommodations. I will give you example the modification in the classroom. For example, because every child is every child is unique and totally different. They have different abilities. So as a teacher, it's my duty to give assignment or homework according to their caliber, according to their skills. So we have to be flexible, break the homework, break the assignment into many, you can say many subdivide in many parts. If a student is very high achiever, he is very brilliant, he will complete the assignment in 3 or 4 days or in a single day. But if other student is weaker or he is taking long time, so we have to provide them extra time. But as well as we have to break the homework. We have to make sub goals and break them. Omitting story problems, deduction of homework you can use, learn different materials. For example, if you are teaching fractions in the class, but another student is not able to learn multiplication, so firstly we have to teach them multiplication. Otherwise, there is no meaning to teach them fractions. Get graded or assessed using a different standard. So be accused from particular projects. So overall, I will conclude in 2 minutes. As a teacher, when we talk about inclusion or when we talk about the multisensory approach, a teacher should be a good observer. He should identify, he should assess the abilities of the students as well as the previous knowledge of the student. And we should assess before the teaching, during the teaching, and after the teaching as well. If you diagnose the problem, you will be able to give remediation. You can use remediation methods in the class. You can use another. If you are feeling that this strategy or method didn't work, you can change your method. You can change your strategies in the classroom. So this will help all of them. So I hope as a teacher we should use all these things. We should engage them in the class, provide them opportunity, and always try to observe their interest, their skills, their weakness, their strengths. So every student is every student is important, and we as a teacher, it's our duty to teach them. So this was my lecture, and thank you for providing me the opportunity. And this is a great platform, and I will thank to all of you who listen very patiently. And thank you, Shelly ma'am, for providing me the opportunity, because this is a very good topic. Yeah.
Indeed, what a lovely and superb presentation on inclusion and multisensory approach in teaching learning process. Their pros and cons, Multisensory Approach, Kinesthetic Learners, and also why teachers act as a role model in the society. Well, being an educator myself, I'm humbled and full of gratitude, Mr. Mohammed Zubair, that today through your presentation, you have given a tribute to all the teaching fraternity worldwide who were rather the frontline corona warriors in this pandemic. I believe you were able to give beautiful insight on this topic, and dear participants must have got the important takeaways too. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you,
giving
ma'am.
your
It's my
valuable
pleasure.
time and sharing your knowledge with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now,
Thank you. It's
it's
my
time
pleasure.
to move on to our next guest, a gorgeous luminary speaker, Vedrana Sarek from Croatia. She is a professor of economics and mentor of vocational school in Croatia since 9 years. She is also a researcher and keynote speaker. She is the national coordinator of ENO Environmental Online and the national coordinator of the Medical Intercultural Friendship Network project. She is the winner of the award one of the 510 most successful educational workers in Croatia in 2019 and gave several lectures at inter-county professional conferences. She is also an ambassador T4. Her articles are published in various prestigious organizations. She is a mentor to students in various competitions too. For science category, she was coordinator and award to excellent performance and best coordinator during GTA Science and Technology Symposium 2021. Academic judges also in the live session, also category supervisor science in GTA. She is also an International Women Achiever 2021 for her appreciable work in the field of education. She is the country director of International Youth Society IYS. She received the award for the best teacher for her dedication, diligence, and deliverance in her respective field of education, and the International Women Achiever Award 2021 for her appreciable work in the field of education. Well, ma'am, this is incredible, very successful journey full of awards and achievement. Please give a warm welcome to Vedrana Sarek, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Please enlighten
Hello,
us with your personal wisdom.
hello. Good evening from Croatia.
Yeah.
It's my honor to be here with all us. I want today speak about Wakelet as a teaching tool. Can I share my screen, please?
Yeah, please, please.
Okay, thank you, dear. Okay. First of all, sorry. What is Wakelet? Wakelet is a free content creation platform that allows users to save, organize, and share content from across the web, videos, articles, pictures, tweets, and links. First thing is how creating an account on Wakelet. Here we can see one window when the first step is create your own user account. Start by clicking on link Wakelet
Hello, ma'am.
point.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes.
Ma'am, share your slide from your entire
Vedrana,
screen.
ma'am, can you please share the
Okay.
slides? Can
Okay.
you run the
Sorry.
slideshow?
By me is visible. Sorry. Okay. Share. Yes. I
Ma'am,
think
some
now is
participants write in
visible.
the comment section they can't see you. Yeah, now is it okay?
Is it
Now it is
okay?
visible.
Okay.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I will. Okay. Sorry.
You can begin with the first slide.
Yes.
You
It's
can
now
begin with the
okay.
first slide.
Yes. First is okay. But I have problem because Okay. Yes. This first. This first.
Share it first.
Please share the screen also.
Is okay. Now is okay.
No.
No, the screen is not shared actually.
Oh, okay. One more time. Yes. Here, yes. Is now visible?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah, it's
But
coming.
ma'am,
Yeah.
Thank
Is
you.
it
from
the
the
first
comment
slide?
box, yeah, this is the first side.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Ma'am,
What is
Sarek, lots of questions from our participants. We can't see you, how beautiful you are. I think,
Vedrena ma'am, can there be some light in your room, because the participants are requesting that they are not able to see you.
okay, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
just
Beautiful,
some light.
okay. Now, is it okay?
Yeah, better.
Yes. Okay. What is Wakelet? Wakelet is a free content creation platform that allows users to save, organize, and share content from across the web, videos, articles, pictures, tweets, and links. Next slide is how creating an account on Wakelet. First step is create your own user account. Start by clicking on link wakelet.com and click login. And now we have select whether to continue existing user the account you have via Google, Facebook, or use email address and create a password. Next step is profile settings. Customize your public profile. Your public's collection will be displayed on your profile. Start by clicking on Edit Profile. Here we can change the image header. You can upload your own image or choose one of the offered in a library and click Play. Now in this window we can change your profile picture. We can upload an image or save the avatar you created. Here we can bio, add information about yourself, be creative, share information about what is your role in education, share your story and interest. And in this window here, edit your name, help make a name that will be equal to other platform like Twitter. Now we have a home page. Let's take a look at your home Wakelet page. You will be here every time log in the Wakelet app. And here we can see in this, this is on Croatia, but I show later on English. Check your followers on the sidebar, who you are also following. Here tags are all the items you have either had saved on Wakelet. You can here search, edit, delete, and or save tags for each collection. And last, the group collection is a selection that shows the collection you are in listed only as association. First, you need to accept a request for an association that this can be via email confirmation or by adding a participant code. And here in this icon, quickly check and change your visibility collection by clicking on the icons in this. Offered options are public, unlisted, and private. Creating a collection. Here, click on your home page. This is my account. Then we have this window where we write the name and description of your collection, add a cover and the background image. And here we can see green button where we can add researchers to your Wakelet collection. Click on each icon to add a link, tweet, YouTube video, picture, tag, PDF documents for your Google Drive or enter your own text. You can add more links by clicking on the green sign plus. And here we can see and choose this private, choose an overview of your new access collection. For visibility, select public, unlisted or private, then click save, save or done, and come out to make your collection come alive. Sharing option. There are several different ways you can share Wakelet collection with the world using the menu at the bottom. Here we can see QR code, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Twitter, Remind, Reddit, Facebook link. We can export as PDF and embed. Embed button allows you to embed a collection on your website or blog. Customize look, enhance the impression for your website. On menu, don't forget to adjust your visibility settings on the public or unlisted to should share. And we have on Wakelet invite option. This is on this window. Invite button, invite contributor, invite sharing using QR code, sharing via links, this link, copy link, and shared via email here on email. How to use Wakelet. During distance learning, Wakelet provides to be a very good tool in many ways. To create teaching content on a particular topic because it accepts almost all types of content that are then in one place. B, students can access the collection without registering, and it is a source of content for them on a particular topic. And C, students can insert photos, videos via OneDrive, Google Drive, or Flipgrid. Also, students can write text and can even evaluate peers. The greatest value is that the link can only be shared with a certain group and others cannot access or destroy content in one collection. Now I want to share another screen. As a teacher, you can use Wakelet to plan a lesson and create content for students or design digital newsletters, and then students can also use Wakelet to create digital portfolios, collaborate together, mixed media, research, and more. Here we can see sign up. This is first step. I want to continue with my account. This is here. This is all my collection. Now I want to show how create a new collection. Sorry, this is on Croatia. Click on this green button. We can in the first step choose a cover image. Here we have a lot of options. Upload an image, choose from Giphy or choose from library. I want maybe choose from library. And my topic was here climate change. And maybe this picture. Now I have my cover image, and that we can change in any time. Now I want to give a title. This is climate change. And here we can write a quick description that can be learn about climate change. Yes. And now we have this green button. When we click, we can here paste any web address. Here we can add text, image, bookmarks, upload the PDF, and here we can upload something from tweets, Flipgrid video, YouTube, Google Drive, or OneDrive. My first step will be definition about climate change. I think that I have this, yes, on a copy paste, and we can all bold or italic or in this way, maybe all in this way, but I want in this way. And we have now one definition about climate change. After that, I want to add one photo and go here. I can choose photo from Giphy or a library and upload the image from my PC, but I don't want this. I want from library. Sorry. Here. And want this picture. Now we have and one picture. Next step, I want one video from YouTube, and here also I write climate change. And want this video, add this, and now we have and one video. After that, we can copy paste one address from Google about climate change, yes, and I add maybe this, and I copy paste this, copy, and here put, and now we have one page. Next step is that maybe a task for students or can make or create one video from Flipgrid. Yes, maybe something this. Yes, you can create video. What you want to say to your students, but I don't want this. Here I want, sorry, yes, text, okay, one text. This is task for students. Where they make a poster in Canva about climate change. Oh, yes. And this collection is now private. We can see here, when we click here, we have option public or unlisted. When I want to share this with my student, that can be unlisted, and I put this. I put this, yes. When I finish my Wakelet collection, I think, okay, I can add a background image, yes. This I can upload an image from my PC, or I can choose from library. Maybe this. So we have one collection where students can hear about climate change, when they have one definition about climate change, one photo, one content from internet, and here when I share this collection with them, then also click on this green button and upload their image from their PC. And when we finish this collection, we click down, yes, and in any time we can edit this collection. We can share this collection and invite people. We can share our collection with others with QR code or Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, Twitter, and Facebook, or export in this always. And we can also invite contributors. If you want to add contributors so that others could add to your collection, click invite, this invite. We click here. And there you can invite people you follow on Wakelet as contributors, or just type someone's email here on type in mail. Okay. Some email, yes, we type here, email. Email to add then as a contributor. This would also be a way for students to be able to collaborate together and create a collection for an assignment like a research project. Adding someone to as a contributor doesn't necessarily mean that they will be able to edit and delete your work. If you click on the settings, okay, I go now to edit and settings. If you click on settings here, you will notice that you have an option to turn on the option to allow contributor to edit your work. This sharing or edit. This edit. But by default, that's off. In the settings, you can also choose to allow others to make a duplicate copy or this copy collection, and by clicking add, by clicking here add a background image, as we change this. You can also add a background image to customize your Wakelet collection. I make this. And then to see the final draft version, this is draft, okay. And click done. Yes, I done this. That is that. And when we scroll down to check in it on, this view is also what your collection will look like when you share it with students in this way. As you will notice, in the immersive reader icon next to any text you have included, if students click on it, they will be able to use the text to speech. Here we can see here the speech feature to have the text read aloud to them. And we have this and play, or this, click here and here play.
Climate change includes both global warming driven by human-induced emissions of greenhouse gases and the resulting large-scale shifts in weather patterns.
Okay, I think that I show all. And on home, we can create many more collections this is this collection which I made today, and in any time you can change this collection and put others content, picture, or something what we would like. Thank you. Can I stop my screen? Yes.
Now, that was astounding, Vedrana ma'am. We are obliged for your marvelous presentation on Wakelet, which I believe is the need of the hour in this virtual learning. No doubt your presentation today on one of the best digital tools for distance learning might have sure helped our learners today for making their portfolios. At least I have learned a lot today for making my lesson plans for my students. And I guess our attendees must have learned a lot from your presentation on climate change, on how to compile collection of pictures, videos, and the text at the same place, share and invite people either through Google Classroom, Facebook as contributors too. Thank you so much for your precious time from your Choco Block timetable. This session will be effective for our audience because you shared your insight and knowledge with us. No doubt our viewers will be benefited today by the digital tool awareness which they received through your presentation. Once again, thank you so much, Vedrana ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Greetings from Croatia. Bye.
I think there is a surprise coming all the way. Oh, wow. Good news. Congratulations, Rosario V. Mena. We have a special gift for you. We noticed that till date, you attend most sessions with us. We'll share a lifetime membership certificate from IGP. Congratulations once again to Rosario V. Mena. Keep it up. And I expect others also to get such certificates because lifetime membership certificate is a great certificate from IGP. Congratulations. It's time to move on to our last, but not the least, prestigious speaker, Sadhana Julfikar bin Tahir from Indonesia. Dear attendees, he is a lecturer at English Education Department of University Ikra Buru, Indonesia. His areas of interest and research include teaching media, TEFL, Arabic and linguistics, and multilingual education. He graduated from Al Azhar University of Cairo in Arabic language and linguistics and graduated his master and doctoral degree from the State University of Makassar in English Education Department and got the short course at Northern Illinois University, USA. He has published some books and many articles in TEFL, ICT in language learning, and multilingual teaching and learning. He had become a member of Asia TEFL, Asian EFL, International Forum of Researchers in Education, and ADRI. He is a reviewer and editor in some local and international journals. Wow, what an impressive profile, sir. Amazing. We are honored to have you with us and want to extend a warm welcome to Sadhana Julfikar bin Tahir. Hello, sir. Please share the screen with us.
Hello, hello. Okay. Yeah, is it visible? Can you see my slide?
Yeah, your screen is visible to us.
Okay. Can I start?
Yeah, please start.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the host and also for the Global Institution Professional and all the participants or the audience to this webinar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to be invited here to share a little bit about my research result about entitled teaching model for remote area school in COVID-19 pandemic situation. Well, I think what gave the material by the first speaker and also the second speaker already clear, and I think this material will be short. I will shortening my material. Well, as an introduction of my material today, I'd like to highlight that the educational condition, or especially in teaching and learning process in the school in Indonesia, before COVID-19 pandemic situation had its up and down situation, and it is has not been handled properly by the government, and then it is further exacerbated by the COVID-19 whole the countries. And today we are still in COVID-19 pandemic situation. Of course, the government and practitioner, also the researcher, and even the teacher devote themselves or try their best to give solution for teaching and learning process in this COVID-19 situation. But unfortunately, the government and also some researcher and the teacher, they only focus on the big city or the capital city in the region. In this material, I just focus in Indonesia, but if some participant, some teacher who live in the remote area or underdeveloped region, maybe he could adopt and adapt what I did. So based on the presidential decree of Indonesia number 63 in 2020, there are about 62 underdeveloped region or remote area, many remote area in underdeveloped region. So as a teacher, as a practitioner, and also the researcher, we try to develop or to design the new model for our teaching and learning process in this pandemic situation. Well, before we try to design it, we have to look forward, or we have to pay full our attention to some element that suggest us to design or to develop our learning material in this pandemic situation. The first things we have to see is the regulation. Is there any regulation such as the government regulation or the local government regulation that regulated about teaching and learning in this situation? And then we try to explore some previous related study about the teaching and learning process in this pandemic situation. In Indonesia, especially in Indonesia, many researchers conducted their research in how teaching and learning in this pandemic situation. For instance, there is Asani 2020 and also Ayuni Alo Lestari. They already studied about teaching and learning process in the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Unfortunately, again, those previous researchers did not focus on the remote area. As I mentioned before, that the government and also the researcher also just focus on the big city in the region or big city, capital city of the region. They did not focus on the remote area or underdeveloped region in Indonesia. While our government program, the Indonesian government program, to implement teaching and learning process in the pandemic situation, such as offline method. Offline method means that the teacher could copy or record the teaching and learning material, and then they divide it what they recorded to their students. And then online learning. Besides online learning, there are project-based learning. So it means that the teacher give the task for the student or the material so they can study by themselves individually or autonomously in their home. And then blended learning. Blended learning means with a mix between online and offline learning. And then learning through radio, TV, and YouTube. But you know that the remote area or underdeveloped regions have the lack facilities such as computer, laptop, or Android mobile, and even the lack of internet access. So how could the remote area implement the government regulation or the government program without any facilities or the lack of facilities existed in their school or in their region? So how to develop? So when we try to develop as a teacher, we can make a small observation and small analysis to see our student. Of course, there are many model of research and development. We can adapt, we can apply it in our small research, such as AD model or 4D model or decay and carry model, and etc. So we can adapt or adopt one of the model of developing our material for our students. Here, I use AD model because this model is also easy. So it started from analysis. Analysis means here, as a teacher, as a researcher, we have to conduct need analysis. We try to explore what our student need, not our student wants. So we have to distinguish between what our student need and what they want. But here, we don't need to take what our students wants. The most important here is we just analyze what our student need, what our student require, what task they need in their learning. So in this analysis, we can conduct need analysis and also we can conduct situational analysis. So we can see the situational in the school or the situational in the student's home, such as their facilities. So based on the need and situational analysis, so we try to design the materials such as syllabus, lesson plan, course book, or teacher guidebook, or perhaps media that we will apply in our teaching and learning process. So based on the data that we got from the analysis, need and situational analysis, we try to design or to develop. Of course, the data that we got from the analysis, we can analyze it using perhaps a SWOT analysis or IPA, important performance analysis. Then we know what our student need, what is the more things our student need. So we can design what the material appropriate for our student. And then we try to develop it, the material. Then after design and develop, we implement what we have been developed. The implementation here, we can try to use it in a small field testing, and then we apply it in the medium, and then the last thing is the large medium field test. And after we implement it, we can evaluate what what we got from the analysis till the material and implementation that we conduct in our teaching and learning process. So this is the step in AD model that we use in designing our material for our students in the remote area. So based on the data, from the need analysis and situational analysis. Here I just present some of the data that the students in the remote area need the offline learning more than the online learning. And because they feel difficult in conducting online learning. And then they also need independent learning, group learning existed because they have no facilities in their school and also in their home. And then the students will possibly join the online learning, and there is no material appropriate for the online learning that the government government uh, regulation, and then many students did not understand how to use the online learning in the remote area. So this is the condition and need of the students in the remote area. And then also the syllabus, most of the students in the remote area need the syllabus by adjusting the syllabus that existed in the school, and then also the lesson plan. And they need this to simplify. They need to simplify the material because in Indonesia there are many material that students have to finish in one semester. So they need to simplify the material in this pandemic situation. And then also they need blended learning, but also they need face-to-face learning. And then they need some kind of discussion, so small group, independent, and then the material is near to them, close to them. The material that we will give to them is the material that close to their student environment, like sport, food, holiday, arts, shopping, traveling. This material that must be included in the material that we will teach. And after the data that we got, so we can design here the teaching and learning model that appropriate to the remote area school. So it is start, of course, from the planning. So what stated by the first speaker, that many approaches, many methods that we can apply it in our teaching and learning. So here I call it by multi-blended learning. So some researcher just focus on blended learning, but for the remote area school students need multi-blended learning. Multi-blended learning means that the teacher have to combine more than two approaches and method in their teaching and learning. So the teacher can start from independent learning, simplifying the curriculum, simplifying the material, the material that appropriate to the students' need, and then the teacher could start from the independent learning or face-to-face learning in the classroom, in the small classroom, small face-to-face, small group face-to-face in the classroom, or small group in students' village or students' area, or home visiting, and online or offline learning. The teacher could start from one of these approach that appropriate for the students. If the students is far from the school area, perhaps the students can start from the independent learning or autonomous learning by giving the material for the student so they can study by themselves in their home. So after giving the material for the students, the teacher perhaps could implement face-to-face small in the classroom, face-to-face small group in the classroom. Or if it is impossible to conduct face-to-face small group in the classroom, the teacher could make some home visiting based on the student's area, based on the students' location. Perhaps, for instance, if in one area there are 5 or 6 students, the teacher can unite them in one small group. Then the teacher visit them and try to explain what they study from their independent learning. And then the teacher could also implement online and or offline learning based on the student situation. For instance, if in one area only one students who have the mobile Android phone, so the small group of students in one area could use one Android mobile phone, but perhaps it could be implemented by phone video call through WhatsApp, or perhaps using Zoom and etc. So from all the approaches and all methods that implemented by the teacher, it started from planning, and then the teacher must control all steps and all what he did in from one of these approaches. And implementing the approaches, the teacher have paid full attention to the student need. If the student need the small group first as a first step in teaching and learning, so the teacher could change from one to another, and after that the teacher make some evaluation from planning, controlling, implementing, and the last of his teaching and learning process. This is the cycle of multi-blended learning that could be implemented by teacher in the remote area school. So this model already implemented in a small field testing, and the result shows that this model is can enhance and can solve the problem of the remote area students situation in pandemic. So most students are interested in this model and these approaches, and also this approaches is acceptable by the two experts that validate this model. So this model on this model just implemented in a small field test, and this model have the lack that is the need many costs for the teacher to go to visit the student in their home. So it is need many costs. So in implementing in the medium and large scale in the remote area school, we didn't start it because we just still waiting for the funding from the local government. So if the funding from the local government already done, so we will conduct the medium and large field testing to examine the effectiveness of this multi-blended learning. So based on my explanation, so I could conclude that the remote area students in Buru Regency required a blended learning by combining offline and online. So then the curriculum simplifying and adapting to the core material based on the school existing syllabus. And to support the success of learning in remote area, the appropriate design to be applied is multi-blended learning. This learning model has not been examined its effectiveness experimentally in the medium and large field testing. So, based on those explanation, the teacher is not the role model. The teacher is not the role model. Is not the manager. but the teacher also as designer develop the material for the students. I think that's all my presentation, my short presentation. Thank you very much, and back to the host. Thank you.
Mind-blowing and spectacular presentation from a bona fide speaker, Sadhana Julfikar bin Tahir, on COVID-19, develop new model, teaching and learning in normal situation. Whether it is offline, online projects, learning, blended learning through YouTube or TV, I mean, it's quite common, but it's not 100% accessible to the children of the remote areas. I really like your government efforts in getting the material ready to help these remote areas children's schools so that they are not at academic loss at all. I must congratulate you for the noble endeavor you are doing to help these remote area schools. Good luck and my best
Thank
wishes
you.
to you, sir, for
Okay,
empowering
thank
these
you.
children. I believe you have very well connected to our participants and have covered Eddie model so well. I'm pretty sure it was a learning exercise for our attendees by listening to your online learning model, which can be implemented by the teachers of remote areas. So, kudos, sir. A big thank you for sparing your invaluable time from your busy schedule and empowering all of us with your knowledge and skills. Dear audience, after check-in, after claiming e-certificate, please like, share, comment, and tag your friends and community and celebrate with IGP. Lovely audience, it's time for the quiz competition. I invite all of you to participate. Time for the quiz. Please join at slido.com. Note down the code 22222. 5 times 2. I request once again to kindly join the quiz at slido.com and please put the code 5 times 2. I can see the names on the screen who have joined. We have 48 with us. Gradually, the numbers are increasing. I request the other attendees also to quickly join our quiz because it's an interesting session, interesting round rather. And let's see who will be the winner of the quiz. Top 3 quiz winners. And how much insights you might have you might have received from this webinar. So we are 91, 98. We have crossed 100. Buck up all the attendees. I request all educators, attendees, participants, please join the quiz at slido.com. Just click www.slido.com and don't forget to enter the code 5 times 2. So we are 131. There are many who are joining. Let the number increase and let's see who is the coveted winner. Top 3 winners for the quiz today. 143 we have. Gradually the numbers are increasing. Dear attendees, you can see your name on the screen. $164. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the quiz. 174. I hope it crosses 200. 181. Please check your names on the screen, participants. You'll sure remember this quiz competition. 185. Good to see so many participants. So it is 190 now. Yes, 191. I request others also because it should cross 200. 192. 193. Yes, gradually it is increasing again. 195. 197. Yes, now it's coming up. 199. One more to go. Yes, 200. Wow. So here we are. Which teaching method is the best for retaining information? Listening, presentation, doing the real thing. Wow, for listening we have 17%, presentation 16%, but doing the real thing it is 67%. So that is the correct answer, guys. Doing the real thing, that is the perfect answer. And this is the leaderboard. You can see, you can check your score on the screen. Kenneth, yes. Care for creation is a Catholic social teaching, true or false? Care for creation is a Catholic social teaching, true or false? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. For true, it is 75% and false, it is 25%. So the correct answer is true. Check the leaderboard. Kenneth, Sonia. Okay, next. What is the first step on developing a teaching plan? Objectives, elements, resources, draft. What is the first step on developing a teaching plan? I repeat, objectives, elements, resources, draft. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's see the answer. Wow. Objectives with 88% score, elements 1%, resources 5%, and draft again 5%. So 88% is the correct answer. Elements. Okay. Elements. Check the leaderboard. What type of learning styles model does the example shows? Right brain hemisphere, left brain hemisphere, whole brain thinking, field independent perception. What type of learning styles model does the example shows? Right brain hemisphere, left brain hemisphere, whole brain hemisphere thinking, field independent perception. So the correct answer, okay. 28% voted for right brain hemisphere, 13% for left brain hemisphere, 31% for whole brain thinking, and 29% for field independent perception. Let's see what is the correct answer for this. Okay, the correct answer is right brain hemisphere. 28% have voted for this correct answer. Leaderboard, Blaze 3/4, Meg 3/4, Mark 3/4, Richard 3/4, Barklina 3/4. Next question. The ideal teacher is a model of self-confidence. False or true? I repeat. The ideal teacher is the model of self-confidence. False or true? So here we go. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here comes the answer. 6 have voted for false and 94% have voted for true. Let's see what is the correct answer. Whether it is, yes, perfect. It is true. This seems to be an easy answer. 94% have voted. Okay, next question. National Board for Professional Teaching Standards assesses and qualifies paraprofessionals in education, assesses and certifies outstanding teachers, assesses and credentials classified special education staff, assesses and certifies pretty good staff. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here comes the answer for you all. Let me see. 61% for objective A, 23 for 2, 17 for C, and 0% for option D. Let us check the correct answer. Wow, 23%, that is the B, assesses and certifies outstanding teachers. Good job. And the leaderboard: Madeline, Calorian 5/6, Richard 5/6, Alair 5/6, Hartwig 5/6. Good. Next. Teaching in colonial America was viewed not as a career, but rather a calling, temporary employment, and enlistment, indentured service. So, let's see the votings here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And finally, let's see how many of you have voted what? Which option? A, B, C, D. Wow, 51% have opted for A, 17% for B, 14% for C, 19% for D. Let's see. What is the correct option, guys? Wow, 17%. That means B option, temporary employment, is the correct answer. And the scoreboard: Alair is leading 6/7, Madeline 5/7, Richard 5/7, Joel 5/7, and the next one again 5/7. Good. Next, human love and capacity are a social teaching, true or false? I repeat, human love and capacity are a social teaching, true or false? And here goes our time. Tick tick. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's see the coveted answer for this question. So, let me see, true or false? 94 for true, 6% for false, and the correct answer is false. Oh my God, 6% only voted for false. This was a tricky question. Good one. So the leaderboard: Alair again 6/8, he's leading. Madeline 5/8, Richard 5/8, Marjorie 5/8. Okay, the next question. Co-teachers are teaching students how to use a microscope properly. Which model is best? One teach, one assist. Parallel teaching, one teach, one observe. Station teaching. Good question. Let me see what is the correct answer. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And finally, let's see what is the correct answer. How many of you have voted for what? A, B, C, or D? 32 for option A, 33 for option B, 27 for option C, 9% for option D. And the correct answer is option D, parallel teaching. Good one. I'm also enjoying this quiz. Leaderboard: Alair leading 7/9, Zeldi 6/9, Joel 6/9, Kenneth 5/9, and the last one also 5/9. Good score. Okay, so the 10th question here is: you can use sliders for teaching. Lexes, time and quantities, tails. You can use sliders for teaching. Okay, now let us see what the correct answer is. So we have here time: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let us see how many of you have voted for what? A, B, or C? 11% for A, B 76%, and C 13%. Wow, 76%. Time and quantities. This was an easy pick. Your guests were correct. So congratulations, Glaze Haller, you won this quiz. Congratulations. 8/10. Zeldi 7/10. So these are our first, second, and third winner. Joel is the third winner. Congratulations to all these top three winners of today's webinar. Glazia, Alair, Zaldi, and Joel. And the score is 8 by 10, 7 by 10, and 7 by 10. So these are our first, second, and third winner of the quiz competition. You are requested to contact our page inbox with your full name immediately. I request all these three winners to please enter your full name immediately to the page inbox so that you can be issued the quiz competition certificates within time. So I request once again to all these three quiz competition winners who have scored first, second, and third to quickly contact our page inbox with your full name so that we can issue you the certificates on time. Once again, congratulations to all these three winners. Kudos. Even I enjoyed the quiz. Interesting questions with interesting answers. Wow. Now I'll take you to some brainstorming sessions, that is a question and answer session. Dear attendees, if you have any question for our speakers, then quickly write it down along with your name, country, and the question directed to the respective speaker in the chat box. We'll read it out, and the luminaries for today's session will be answering all your questions. Okay, question to the first speaker. Difference between assistive teaching and adaptive teaching. How learning design is different from the conventional lesson plan. This question is asked by Annaba Chatterjee and this is for Mohammed Zubair. Please, sir, you can
Am I
take this.
audible?
Yeah, you are
Am I
audible.
audible? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Actually, assistive technology is an umbrella term for the wide range of systems and device or just any, you can say, equipment or help the people. But when we talk about the adaptive equipment, it is a subcategory. For example, if in my school, if some students I have problems, for example, if they have locomotor problems, they have physical problems, so they we are using for example, I am using mobile phone. If a normal student is using mobile phone, that is assistive technology. But if a visual impaired child will use that device according to their need, that is adaptive technology. We have adapt that device according to their needs. The purpose of the adaptive equipment is to achieve self-care and provide independence and efficiency with the daily living skills. Common examples include mobility devices like stairs, climbers, adaptive car, adaptive equipment, wheelchairs, electronic devices, etc. In my opinion, this is my answer. And later what he asked in the second part,
How
how
learning
learning
design is
is
different from the
different from the
conventional lesson
conventional
plan.
lesson plan. Actually, conventional lesson plan is all about when we go through some traditional way. But learning design is important because when we are making a plan, firstly, one question in the quiz was that the firstly we have to elements or the curriculum. Firstly, we have to choose the curriculum or the elements we have to teach. Then we will focus on them, and then we will make a plan. So learning design is important thing, and it is different from conventional lesson plan because learning design is according to the need of the student, because every student is individual, is totally different from in the class because their caliber is different from the other person. So in my opinion, learning design is different from the conventional lesson plan. Conventional lesson plans is for all, and learning design is made up for individual based lesson plan.
Very well answered, Mr. Zubair. A second question is, what makes a teacher be as effective and efficient inside the school? This question is asked by Zini.
I have to ask. I have to reply.
Yes, yes, you have to reply.
Okay,
What
okay,
makes a
okay,
teacher
okay.
be
What
as
makes a
effective,
teacher be as effective and efficient inside the
inside
school?
the school?
There are lots of things that make you effective in the school, inside the school. Because if you are in the school, firstly, if I am working in the school, firstly, there is no comparison with the other teachers. They are coming at time in the school. They are they are doing their duties. So firstly, we have to be motivated yourself, and you have to work hard in your class. Then the other thing is that you can use all the teaching strategies according to the need of the student. For example, I talked about multisensory approach. So as a teacher, if you want to be effective your teaching in the classroom, firstly you have create a good environment in the class. Environment means classroom management. Classroom management, where the child will sit in the class, where the child and which kind of intervention I will give to them, and which kind of strategies I will pick, which kind of activities I will choose for them according to their needs. So if you want to be effective inside the school, you have to go through the child completely. For example, you have to go through their case study, you have to go through their assessment. For example, before learning, during the learning, or after the teaching, you have to diagnose, and you will get some feedback, and you have to change sometimes your strategies according to the needs. Sometimes you have failed, and and those didn't work. You have to change your plan. You have to give them remedial teaching in the classroom. So all these things, I think, will effective teaching. I think environment and the strategies and the plan, and according to the unique needs of the student.
Very well answered. I request all the participants to kindly address the speaker's name also along with your question in the comment box. So we have this question to the third speaker. What do you think is the most effective teaching model that we can use in implementing our lesson in remote areas, and why? I request, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, okay, thank you for the question. I'd like to answer this question, and I'm trying my best. Well, all model, all strategies, all method, all technique, and all approaches is good. But the good things must be appropriate to the place or the setting. So you have to conduct the situational and need analysis before teaching your student in the classroom. You have to look at the student's situation, the school situation, and what your student need. Based on your student need, you can apply one model that you can use. You see, it is very appropriate to your students' need. So I think all the method, all the model is good, but the good things must be suitable to the place or the setting. So be a good teacher, be a designer, be a developer, and be a explorer of our students' need. And then we can use or apply the appropriate model for our students in their classroom. I think that's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Very nicely answered. Okay, now we have the next question to the first speaker. What is the best teaching method for unique or diverse students?
We can't say that a single method will work on on a student, because there are lots of methods are available. Because if you talk about, for example, I am giving an example for learning disabilities. If a students have a dyslexia or dyscalculia or dysgraphia, so you can't say a single method will work on him. So according to their their strength and weakness, firstly we have to observe which kind of student he or she is. He is auditory learner, or he is a visual learner, or he's learning in the learning based active, he's learning from the activities. So you can't say which method is good. But as far as I conclude the things, we have to encourage them and we have to engage them. When you increase the participation in the class and you are working on a specific manner, because every kid is different from the other. So you can't say a single method will work on every student and which method is good. So you have to observe which student needs, which every students have unique problems and unique areas. So we have to choose according to their needs. Some students are learning in group. Grouping is very good method. Peer tutoring is good method. Multisensory approach we can use. You can use all these things in the classroom: demonstration, project method, problem solving method. You can use many methods in the class according to the need.
Very well answered, sir. Now, next we have autistic children need a special method of teaching. Which method do you suggest and recommend for teaching such children? This
you
is
know
from Professor Balkis Rashid from Iraq.
for
This is for
for
you, sir, Mohammad
Okay,
Zubair.
okay. Actually, autistic child have many problems. They have social issues, and you can he has communication problems sometimes. So he's feeling alone, and he fears. He is introvert in nature. He is very shy and to come in front of others. So you have to develop social skills in them. According to like Vygotsky said, the social development theory, there are lots of social skills we can use in the class. For example, peer tutoring, or the counseling, or the grouping, or the cooperative learning, or the team teaching. You can use all these things, because when you engage him or her with other students in the class, he will be able to uh, you know express their views in front of others. Because if you are not giving the opportunity, because he has the social problems, he has the other problems related to social skills, he is not able to, he hasn't have friends, he hasn't able to express his views. So engage them in social work. I think socialization is important thing in the class
Very well
for them.
answered, sir. Okay, we have the next question to our third speaker. Do you think contextualization can be used as an efficient approach when teaching in a remote areas from rural?
You. Well, when we talk about the multi-blended method that I explained before, that it is appropriate to the contextual of the location of our students and also the location of student school. So, if we try to apply the contextual teaching and learning for our student in the remote area, I think it is better. But that is the condition of COVID pandemic situation. It's not allowed for the social. It is the government rule about the social distancing and etc. So the contextualization could be implemented in a multi-blended learning with a small group students. So in multi-blended learning, you can adapt and adopt more approaches that appropriate to your students based on your country. So for Indonesia, contextualization here could not be applied because the policemen what around the village and what ask the people, ask the citizen to enter the room, so they can meet in a small group between 5 and 6 people, 5 and 6 people. So if in your remote area, you could implement it, the contextualization, so it is appropriate to your situation, you can apply it. So, I mean, multi-blended learning, you can combine more than 3 or 4 approaches based on the student need and the student situation. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, very well answered, sir. Very nice. Okay, so dear audience, it was indeed a power packed question answer session, well answered by all numerous guests. Thank you so much, our honorable guest speakers. Pleasing reviews. Don't forget to collect your e-certificates from our website or by the link mentioned below after the session gets over. Dear audience, after check-in, after claiming e-certificates, please like, share, comment, and tag your friends and community and celebrate with IGP. Before we part goodbyes, let me acknowledge my alluring warm attendees who were so patient and attentive throughout the session. Dear listeners, I am much obliged for you all from the core of my deep heart for taking part in today's session. I am confident and positive that you might have gained, picked up, and learned something new today, which you will sure implement in your life for your career growth. My worthy viewers, I would now request you all to please leave a review for today's seminar and also to recommend our page if you might have learned something from us or if we were a little help to you all today. I'll also appeal to my beautiful onlookers to spread the information among your friends. I repeat again, not to forget collecting your e-certificates from our website or by the link mentioned below after the session gets over. Dear audience, again I am repeating that after checking, after claiming e-certificates, please like, share and comment. Tag your friends and community and celebrate with IGP. We hope to see you all again in the next upcoming webinar. Till then, thank you so much. Brave the pandemic with smile, sunshine, warmth, and positivity. Stay happy, stay safe, stay home. I, your host, Shelly Bisht, sign out. Bye-bye. So here we can see the certificate of participation also. Our next webinar is on June 12, 2021 on social emotion in education. Please stay tuned, everybody. That is my request. We have some very good speakers. One from Egypt, one from India, and another one also from India. And the topic is quite burning hot. Social emotion in education. So block your date, save the date, June 14. Okay, the next webinar is on June 14, 2021, the future of education. We have relevant guest speakers from India and Greece. Please block your dates, June 14, 6 to 8. So upcoming webinars on June 12 and June 14. So this is the certificate of participation. You can see it is on the screen. So once again, I'm requesting each one of you to kindly click the link below after the session and download your certificate. So this is the quiz completion certificate. So you will find the 3 certificates of the winners and also the certificate of lifetime membership. So the participation certificates audience, the quiz certificate, the lifetime certificate, and also the certificate of membership. So again, I would like to say that IGP is a wonderful platform because it is giving us a global exposure. So those who are new to this platform, I request you all to kindly attend all our upcoming webinars. I repeat again, on June 12, 2021, we are having social emotion in education, and the guest speakers are from Egypt and India. This is a very relevant topic, a burning topic in today's time, and I don't think you should leave it. And another one on June 14, 2021, we have next webinar, the future of education, from eminent guest speakers from India and Greece. Both the topics are very relevant, and I expect each one of you to kindly attend the international seminar and take insights. I hope you might have taken many insights from our 3 luminaries over here, and especially the hard work behind the program. I sincerely wish Mohammed Zubair and
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure.
Bin Tahir from Indonesia a good job done.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure. Nice to meet you. And it's I will thank to IGP and you also, Shelly ma'am, and you
Thank you.
presented really well. And I also congratulate you, sir. And sir lecture was also very good. Very interactive session. Thank you, all of you.
Welcome.
Dear participants, I'm here again. I'm just here for
Okay.
only one sentence, that is salute to Sir Saidna, because it's 11 past 23 on his time. So it's a
Okay.
great device for us. So salute, sir. Thank you, sir. And also Sir
Okay. It's my
Zubair.
Okay, thank you.
That
And
speaks
also Sir
of
Zubair. Thank
the
you, sir.
sincerity and hard work
it's
behind
my
the
pleasure, sir. It's my
teaching
pleasure.
fraternity. That it is
Yeah, yeah,
11:23 p.m. and he is still live with us. Thank you so much, sir, for your
yeah,
sincere efforts and the hard work
Okay, no
behind
yeah.
problem. Thank
the entire program.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And thank you, ma'am, and thank you, IGP platform.
Thank you so much.